So, welcome to another review of Dexter Original Sin. This is episode 5. It's called F is for up. And I'm not going to hold you. We start off right where Dexter got humbled last episode. Dexter is standing there in disbelief after seeing Mad Dog's body lay in front of that Jeep that took him out. So now he's doing calculations in his head. He's like, I got 15 whole minutes to take care of all of this, clean this mess up, and make sure Miami Metro has no evidence of foul play. And of course, Miami Metro shows up early to build the suspense. Look at 12 getting there in 12 minutes. And once again, Dexter gets lucky because nobody saw anything except for the guitars. And so Dex gets back home, and Harry is sitting there with his walkie at the table in the living room, and he's like, how'd everything go with Mad Dog? Now, in true youthful fashion, Dexter tried to pull a fast one over on Harry. He was like, it was fine. Mad Dog will never hurt anyone again. Like Harry wasn't just sitting there with information that let him know that it went south in some kind of way. So Harry replied, riddle me this. Why is his name all over my walkie? You want to run that story by me one more again? And then that's when Dexter started telling more of the truth. And then Harry ate that man alive, as he should have. Even grounded that man at his big age of 20. Told that man he couldn't even go to work. So while Dexter was grounded, he was at the house and he was like, I'm really hungry right now. So he looked in one of the little Tupperware things and found some brownies. And in my spirit, I knew that those brownies were going to have a little extra something to them because it had Deb's name on it and it said it was for the volleyball team. And if you know anything about that volleyball team, then you know those girls just love to get up in the air and stay there. Woo! So you know when Deb walked in, Dexter was like, Deborah. Like he was just doing all this crazy stuff with her name and just giggling. And that is the exact moment when Deborah knew that Dexter done got all up in her edibles. He said he ate 6 of them joints. And she was like, you do know that those were pot brownies, right? And so he was freaking out because he didn't want to be out of control. And she was like, chill out, bro. You be all right. And he didn't want her to leave because he didn't want to do anything stupid. So they ended up eating all the rest of the edibles. And they had a great time eating up all the snacks. They were giggling all on the couch watching TV. They talked about some serious moments about their mom being lost and what they remember about her and miss about her. And so she even asked Dexter about how him and Sophia are doing, and he don't really know because he ain't trying to date that girl. And then she told him about her grown boyfriend, Gio, and was like, hey, I want to do a double date with y'all. These kids were just having such a free time back in the day. Deb also brought up the fact that the next day is going to be the 1-year anniversary of when their mom passed, and that the 3 of them probably need to do something together to honor her. And I don't really have to say this, but you know that didn't happen because the men in Deb's life are absolutely selfish. Now, Gio hasn't presented himself as a selfish person just yet, but I'm going to watch out for him because, he's new. I'm going to give him a little time. Now, how are we seeing these men as selfish? Okay, let's start with Harry. Now, Harry's at this trial for Levi Reed, the murder case about that whole family in that house from episode 1. Now, this should have been an open and shut case. Harry had all the evidence that was going to help his case out. The problem is he withheld some evidence. It was a woman that showed up. Now, she might have been high out of her mind because she did not know the day of the week. But she said that there was an alibi. He should have just let her be admitted into the evidence. But because he held her out of the evidence, the court threw the case out. Levi was free to go. Now, Harry was rightfully upset. However, he should have been more upset with himself because you had to know better. And the captain was also upset. He said, let me figure out what I'm going to do with you, Harry, because this ain't it. Now, the captain told him to take the rest of the day off. He could have taken the rest of the day, gone home, sat down, thought about what happened and how it's never going to happen again. Now, what does he do? He disappears, doesn't show up for hours. I'm sure he could have gone home and just had a drink at the house. The energy I get from Harry is he got a fully loaded bar at the house. And he completely forgets that he's supposed to meet Deb at the house at 5. So that's one of the men. The other guy, of course, is Dexter. He wasn't grounded that day and he was allowed to go to work. So what ended up happening was he started talking to his supervisor who was watching a horse race. Side note, these portable TVs are taking me back. And the horse that she wanted to win did not win. In fact, it broke his ankle or whatever, which meant the horse was going to have to get put down. So then Dexter started asking questions. He was like, how do you sedate such a large animal? And then they started talking about the drugs that they use to sedate the horses before they put them down. So then Dexter's wheels started turning real fast. He's like, well, maybe I can use this to take down my prey. So then his supervisor leaves to go to one of her daughter's basketball games. Now she said she'll be gone for at least about 3 hours. And so Dexter takes a good gander at his watch and realizes he has very close to 3 hours to do whatever it is he needs to do and get back home to Deborah. So guess what Dexter does? He takes himself over to that racetrack to steal. And I find it funny that nobody really questions if Dexter belongs exactly where he is. He just kind of walks around like he's invisible. And then you add to the fact that he's just performing criminal activity like it's nothing. Does Dex also have the urge to steal? And this takes me back to when I thought about the fact that Harry raised an entire criminal. So not only is he a lunatic that's out here killing people, he's also a thief. But he's not so great at being a thief because he almost gets caught. So he runs into the stable with one of the other horses, didn't see the horse, just kind of gets in the corner to hide, and all of a sudden the horse rolls up on him like he about to stomp him out. But then Dexter does that thing where his mom used to push his hair behind his ear to calm him down, and it works on the horse. But he's trapped there for hours, and that keeps him there beyond the amount of time that Deb said y'all need to be at the house. So Dex is now not gonna make the 5 o'clock appointment either. So Deb is like, man, F all this. Let me call my man up. And of course, he answers and comes to pick her up. Now my question is, do you really have a job? Because he always seems available, but he keeps showing up when she needs him. And he showed up with flowers this time for her mom. Now, if he's not a crazy one for real, you might need to duplicate that man, because
he's a good man, Savannah. A good man.
But it was a good moment for Gio and Deb. And she got to have a really good conversation with her mom at the gravesite. She got to talk about being lost in that space with Dexter and Harry and how it feels to be the only woman in the house and not really feeling like she belongs there. And she was like, I'm gonna figure out my own path and stop worrying about whatever they're doing. She said, I'll keep you posted. And then Harry finally drags his raggedy self over to the cemetery. I see that watch is still working, so you knew when you were supposed to be there. I mean, he was a terrible husband. I mean, because essentially he didn't really say anything when he got to the grave. He kind of just reflected. And then a flashback popped up of when he was cheating on her with Laura. And you know you got your tentacles way too deep in a relationship when the kids start drawing you into the pictures. Dexter drew that man into a whole family picture. And we keep getting more insight as to why Dexter is your son. And in that same flashback where he was being a cheater, he found out that his wife was pregnant with Deb. So you went out to the gravesite, had your moment with your ex-wife. So wouldn't it be nice that Harry just went home to go talk to his kids and see how they're dealing with this day? I said it would be nice, but you know Harry wanted no parts of that. So what did he do? Take it to the bar, drink away your sorrows, baby. And Harry is so predictable with that. The captain knew where to find him. The bar is where he found out he slick got demoted. He was just told that he couldn't get the high priority cases based on the mayor's request. Now he got to be solving the cases of murder with LaGuerta. You're still upset about this Reed case. So you're going off that Hennessy and you decide to take yourself over there where Levi Reed is. And you have the dumbest idea of drawing your weapon like you about to fire on this man. Had a silencer on the weapon and everything, so it's telling me that you taught Dexter some other stuff. And just in the nick of time, Dexter pops up and pops Harry with that horse train. And my thing is, had Dexter not been there, how are you going to justify taking out Levi Reed in plain sight? This is why the captain said, let me figure out what I'm going to do with you, because you make poor decisions. So essentially, Dex saved you because Dexter was trying to learn from his mistakes. And for some reason, you have not figured that out. You need to be sitting on somebody's couch, Harry, because your life is riddled with bad choices. But Dex done set up a kill room for you to show you what he's been working on. He was like, now listen, I'm working on a new thing. This is my evolution. Let me show you what I'm doing. He was like, I'm learning from my mistakes. This is what the plan is, and this is the new path, so you don't have to worry about me anymore. He had it down to a science, literally. Dexter took the time to criticize that man. He was like, I followed you, and you went over to Levi Reed's house? What were you thinking? And I was like, get him, Dex. He tried to play in your face yesterday. At least you're trying to learn from your mistakes as a young man. He's more seasoned, so what's his problem? And while Dexter had Harry tied down to that table, he said, listen, Dad, you can't stop this anymore. And the look on Harry's face said that he thought Dex was going to take him out. Even that grunt when he got up off the table. And Dex had to reiterate, you didn't try to change me when you knew who I was. You trained me. So let me be me. And even though Harry was pissed in that moment, he was absolutely okay with Dexter saying, I'm going to take Levi off your hands. And he even gave some advice. He was like, use smelling salt to wake him up so you don't have to wait so long. And then he told him to go take him out. And so Dex finally got his moment with the mom at the grave. He was like, you actually saw what I was and told Harry that I needed help. And you saw a chance for goodness in me. But maybe I can use my urges to do some good in this world after all. Now, I like this episode. I do like the fact that they all got their individual moments at the gravesite instead of being together, because they all had to have different conversations. You know, I believe in free will and doing your own thing and stuff like that and making your own choices. I'm starting to put some of this on Harry because I feel like his kids are picking up bad habits from him and he's not learning from his mistakes. So the kids are making some of the dumbest decisions too. He's not being a great example for them. What do y'all think? Do y'all think I'm being too hard on Harry? Do y'all think he deserves some of the blame or do y'all think he deserves none of the blame? How'd you feel about the episode in general? Don't forget to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell for future content. Thank you for watching and take care.